Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going in Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And the Enforcer.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Do not change your channel. This is in fact the Smackdown review. However, we're taking the Extreme Rules predictions because this is, of course, the go-home episode to Extreme Rules, and we're mashing them up with the Smackdown review. Oh, yeah. But of course, predictions, very important. Currently, our WWE predictions champion, the Enforcer, is with us to give us his latest predictions. Is he going to play it safe, or are we going to get more of the manic picks that got him to the promised land? Find out. Larson, what's the first match that we're going to predict today?
Before we talk matches, let's talk confidence points. For those who may not be aware, we employ confidence points here at Going in Raw. For example, Extreme Rules, there's 6 advertised matches. Match most confident, you give 6 points. Match least confident, you give 1. So on and so forth. So each match has a unique confidence point value. You get your pick right, you get those points. Whoever has most points at the end of the pay-per-view wins predictions and gets the belt. First match, U.S. title. Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. Enforcer, who do you got?
Okay, this is what I'm thinking here. I'm loving what's going on here with Damian Priest, the U.S. title. I don't think there is any reason to take the belt off of him. There is always a chance that someone can, especially with a Jeff Hardy, especially with a Sheamus. But I really think Damian Priest is going to hold on to this belt. It is a triple threat, so I don't have all the confidence on it. I've only got 2. 2 on Damian Priest.
All right.
Steve, who you got?
I got Damian Priest as well. I think he's, they probably put Bib Fortuna in this match to eat the pin.
Right.
But, sorry, I meant Jeff Hardy. I meant Jeff Hardy. Like, Return of the Jedi just happened to come on after. I can do this.
You got it, man.
I think Jeff Hardy's probably in the match to eat the pin. Damian Priest, look, this is Extreme Rules. It's a nothing pay-per-view. I doubt there's going to be any title changes on it. I don't think I've predicted that for anybody. So, I'm going to say Damian Priest with 5 confidence points. I'm very confident in this.
5 confidence points. I'm going on a limb. I got to make some crazy picks to get that title off of Enforcer. I got Sheamus 2 confidence points, and I'll tell you one reason they could employ to take that belt off Damian Priest, because he's going to SmackDown to be the opponent for Roman Reigns next year.
He does wear blue.
He does.
At least in this graphic, he's wearing blue.
And also, if they had any designs in this feud between Sheamus and Damian Priest coming to an end, this would be a one-on-one bout. So they got Jeff Hardy in there. So whether it's Sheamus pinning Jeff Hardy or Damian Priest pinning Jeff Hardy, it's going to motivate another match. And I feel like it might be stronger to motivate that match if Sheamus pins Jeff Hardy, get the belt back, and then Priest pins Sheamus whenever they have the next match, wins, feud over. So I got Sheamus 2 confidence points.
All right, going on a limb. I love it. Quick shout out to the one and only Medusa rating us. Thank you very much, Medusa, in the Twitch chat.
Appreciate
what is up? The champ is here in the chat. The legend. Let's continue on. Larson, what's the next match?
Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Steve, who do you got?
I have Liv Morgan. She lost her match tonight to Zelina Vega. So that's kind of like the ultimate with the go-home math. I've got Liv Morgan winning with 4 confidence points.
4 confidence points. Okay, I got Liv with 3. Everything you said. She should totally win this. Totally.
Yeah. Wow.
Totally. Liv Morgan, 3 confidence points.
I'm a little less confident on it, but I'm in the same boat as you, Liv Morgan. This is the one where, honestly, Liv Morgan makes sense. Go-home math makes sense. But of course, you never know. They could just roll with this Carmella, but I really think Liv really deserves this win on a pay-per-view on whatever level you think it is, but I've only got 1 on her.
Interesting that they've rebranded Liv as a green dancing girl. No, that's on this. That's on.
You
Return
gotta
of the
turn that
Jedi.
off, man.
Sorry.
Turn it off.
Okay, listen.
Turn it off.
That's strike
Turn it
2.
off.
Okay, it's strike 2. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like time to turn it off.
What's the next match?
Next match, SmackDown Tag Team Championships champions, the Usos, against Street Profits. Steve, you watch Return of the Jedi. I'll go first here. I know Montez Ford was on the receiving end of a beatdown from the Bloodline to close SmackDown tonight. However, I think that was more so to motivate Demon Balor coming out so he can get the stand tall math. I don't really see the Usos losing those tag titles anytime soon. I got Usos 4 confidence points.
Yeah, absolutely. Shockingly, they put Montez Ford in Carbonite. Yeah, no, man. Of course, the Usos.
That's strike 3. Turn it off.
The Usos are going to retain. They're going to retain. Montez. I honestly think they are going to do this, and they should do this. Split up the Street Profits via the draft. Send Dawkins over to Raw. He could be Angelo Rawkins. It'd be great. And Montez stays there because Bianca, obviously. But yeah, Montez is going to be. He should be a huge single star. Profits have already done like too much. They probably should have like slowed it down a little bit. The tag team division just doesn't. It's not really great. So they don't really do a lot with it. So, but Montez, I think, especially tonight with some of the promos we saw, some of the promos we've seen, when he gets serious, man, he could do really good work.
Yeah, he can. Another thing to consider is when the Usos were walking backstage earlier in the night, they walked up to Gable and Otis.
Oh yeah.
Already looking past.
They're already looking past it. Yeah.
So, how many confidence points do you have?
How many points you got on that, man?
Oh, I've got. Let's see here. I've got. I've only got 3. Yeah, I probably should have put more on that, but I got 3.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. For everything you just said there, Usos aren't losing that belt there, and like you just even said, you hit it right on the head. Already looking past Street Profits, already lining up their next feud. Usos with 4 confidence points on that.
There we go. Next, for the Raw Women's Championship, champion Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. Enforcer, who you got?
Okay, there was one earlier in the week, and I forget what show it was on, where I stated where I think Charlotte getting the number of title reigns is sort of like on the back burner here, and now we're talking about length of days having the title, length of days being champion. And that's really one of the bases that I'm going off of. I've got Charlotte with 3 confidence points winning this one.
All right. Steve, what about yourself?
So the thing is, it's Alexa Bliss. I have Charlotte winning, but only with 1 confidence point. Alexa did sort of stand tall, but like it's with the supernatural stuff, there's a possibility this match won't start, won't end. We'll have a weird wonky finish where we won't even know who actually wins the match. Somebody could just disappear. They always throw that weird stuff in there. So just for that reason, I've got Charlotte retaining, but only 1 confidence point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there. Charlotte retaining with 1 confidence point. All the reasons you said. Can't disagree with any of it. Next, for the Universal Championship, champion Roman Reigns versus Demon Balor. Anybody not have Roman with 6?
Nope. Roman with 6.
Nope. Roman with 6.
Roman with 6. Yep.
Roman with 6. All right. Roman with 6 it is then. And then finally, I really do hope this match main events. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. Steve, who do you got?
I have Becky Lynch with 2. I think it's too early, and I think they might want to do Becky versus Charlotte at Survivor Series, because that's a hell of a match right there. Both being heels at this. Well, Charlotte, yeah, I guess Charlotte is a heel. Charlotte's kind of like she's sort of both these days, isn't she? Yeah. She can kind of do whatever. She's just Charlotte.
She can go wherever.
But I think that's kind of a really interesting matchup right there. Becky versus Charlotte again, but with different roles now. So yeah, I mean, that's just a long way of saying I think Becky's going to retain. It's going to be some cheaty shit. Maybe. I mean, I've only got 2 confidence points because maybe Bianca wins by DQ and she still doesn't have the women's championship. So that's why I only have 2 confidence points, but I got Becky with 2.
All right. I got Becky with 5. Yeah, there's a good chance. There could be some DQ stuff, but Becky with 5. She's walking out of there with the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't preclude it from being. You still have that many, even considering the possibility.
Sure, why not?
DQ.
I got to take some chances here.
Okay.
Yeah, I get you. And even though with you saying you got to take some chances here, the guy who's holding the belt's putting 5 on Becky Lynch right here, baby.
There you go.
That's what I'm thinking right there. Possibly, I mean, this is the definition of B level. Everything was kind of paint by numbers with the go home shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not deviating from the plan. I'm holding on to my title by hook or by crook, baby.
All right. Sounds good. Don't accidentally spoil the results for yourself, man.
Well, it's pay-per-view.
I did that tonight, so
happened.
Well, I know tonight was the same thing, though. Anyways, join us on Sunday.
Yes.
The three of us will, of course, be live for Extreme Rules. Should be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing it over on the YouTube. So, Enforcer, thank you very much for hanging out. Larson and I now have the task of reviewing the rest of SmackDown. So, lucky you get
Best
to leave
of
us
luck.
now.
Absolutely, everybody. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. Take care, everybody. I will see you on Sunday.
All right, and we're back. Thank you, Enforcer, very much for joining us for predictions. Wanted to give a quick shout out to some new patrons. Man, a Patreon exclusive episode of The Numbers Don't Lie this past week. We looked at Christian Cage and not shocking the results, Larson. I'll be honest with you, not shocked at all. But you guys will have to check that out at patreon.com/Steven Larson. $5 a month, 2 bonus episodes every single month. And if you listen to the show in the audio realm, that's how you get the show ad-free with bonus content. If you want ad-free without bonus content, it's $3 a month. You can go to goinginraw.supercast.tech. That's a real thing. I didn't make that up. You can go there to that address and you get the show ad-free. Quick shout out here to some new patrons. Let's see here. We have Michael Basardi or Michael Basardi, Perry Swift, Tom, and Dylan Thomas. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so much. Billy Jones and
thank you.
Bryant Martell.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very
all
much for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Now that's out of the way, let's talk about SmackDown. I thought it was actually a really, really decent episode tonight. I didn't think there was much fat. I thought the only thing that sort of lagged maybe was the happy talk with Baron Corbin.
Yeah, that was like as much as I really enjoyed, down on his luck Corbin. This happy Corbin is just the same thing every week, and it's gotten pretty stale pretty fast. I miss down on his luck Corbin. I thought that was great. I thought he was doing some really interesting creative stuff with it. This is just him saying how happy he is because he has a bunch of money and has a bunch of expensive stuff over and over again. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that was not a great segment. Otherwise, I really loved the main event. I thought putting Montez Ford. I've been saying this for a little while now. I would love to see him. And you and I, even back when the Street Profits were still in NXT, we're looking at that and seeing the obvious. And it's this dude, he's going to be a single star one day. And with the draft coming up, I mean, I know it was probably just Dawkins probably had something else going on tonight or whatever. But I couldn't help but sit there and think, man, this might be like an audition for a singles run. And he passes with flying colors. I think that when he does those, he had 2 promos tonight, their interviews. But I think that when he gets serious and he contrasts that with the more comical aspects of his character, there's some dimension there that I think works really well. And as soon as, he called the Usos bloodline bitches, and you see Roman backstage and he says, I want him tonight. I love that. I love that kind of stuff because it's not like, a redo of something else, or it's not just a Roman promo with Heyman talking and talking and talking. Roman wanted to kick his ass because of what he said. And so we got a matchup that maybe, that we wouldn't have got otherwise, that I never would have thought of. And I was really happy to see that.
And maybe it's something we'll get again in the future,
Sure. Yeah.
With Montez elevated, potentially into the main event. One aspect I did like about several aspects I like about the main event, but one I like the commentaries pointing out. I don't know if there's a couple, because there's a couple instances where like Montez is trying to do something like crazy athletic and didn't hit it perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think he flipped out of a belly to back or something and kind of stumbled a little bit. And commentary made a point, and hopefully they'll use that as part of the story if he is going to go on a solos run, is he had some butterflies, maybe a little nervous about being in such a high profile singles match on his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I like how whether that was something in advance or because of, you know, a couple minor little things they incorporate into the story. And I thought that, that's something you can run with going forward.
Out of his comfort zone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, for all we know, this is getting way ahead of ourselves. You never know. He could be the guy to take the title off Roman. You know, it's like there's certain guys you look at, it's like, man, if they really did a good job with him, he's got all the tools to be a huge star.
No, he does. But the caveat is if they do a good job with him.
Yeah. But I really also liked the advancement of the Naomi Sonya stuff. And it makes me think, you know, I know Sean Ross Sapp had reported that they had graphics available ready for Sonya if she was going to be, because she was considered for Money in the Bank this year. And you got to think, number one, I am ready for her to be back in the ring as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And
same.
I wonder if this story is going to motivate that. It seems like it's obvious, right?
Yeah, it seems like it, because it wasn't like Naomi said. So she comes out to the ring. Naomi does. Says, I'm tired of waiting. I've been fined, been disrespected. I've been insulted. I'm not waiting. I want a match right now. And Sonya comes out and goes, no. And has security escort Naomi out of the ring. But before that, Naomi says, come on down. Let's have a match. You and me. Make the match.
Yeah.
And Sonya cuts off her mic and stuff. So now if the idea was Naomi was going to have a match with somebody else sometime before then, maybe wouldn't Naomi just like, send anyone down? I don't care. Send anybody. You know, but no, she said, Sonya, you get down here. Let's have a match now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it seems obvious that's what they're building towards.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to that. And I think the way they did it tonight was so effective. She comes out there, the crowd was into her, and you know, her promo was just on point. And then Sonya really playing up, no, we're not going to go there. Cut her mic, bring out security. I thought it was a segment with urgency. It didn't like stumble around. It didn't get awkward. I thought it was just a really good confrontation. I thought that was good. There were some like Natalya versus Nikki ASH. It's kind of whatever, but it motivated Shotzi and Knox coming out, so that was cool. So that all, whatever that's going to end up being, if it's going to be a triple threat next week or on Raw or whatever, that's going to end up being a pretty good match as well.
Yeah. It's interesting they had Nakamura versus Cruz again, only for Cruz to lose cleanly again.
Yeah.
You know, I think Sean Ross Sapp said on Twitter that Nakamura is like 8-0.
Oh wow,
against Cruz.
Yeah.
So that like when Boogs cut, you know, he starts playing Nakamura's entrance.
Yeah.
And he's in his ring gear. I'm like, oh, they're gonna motivate this to be a tag match, you know?
Yeah, right.
He's in his ring gear. He's ready to wrestle.
Aziz is gonna come in and
something. We'll go to commercial, come back, tag match. No, it's not what happened.
Yeah.
Not what happened at all. Nakamura rolled up Cruz.
It's got to be, White Brown. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say here in chat. He says Cruz going to Raw. Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, they're totally going to Raw, and hopefully it'll be a clean slate. I really like the character rebrand for Apollo Crews. I thought that was good stuff. And then the other thing that really stood out to me before we get into the recap was Dom finally. You know, this was one of those bizarre things where it's like WWE in this story, they are going to treat the guy who is speaking truth and logic, Sami Zayn, they're going to treat him like he's the bad guy. Because, like, his pep talk to Dom, which was right on, like, was completely full of truth and sound advice. They're going to, because Dom's going to turn on his dad.
Yep.
And Ray, just this overbearing father, and Dom saying, dude, you are suffocating me. And Ray said, you don't have your head on right.
I'm going to leave you alone because you would have your head on right.
Yeah, that was great. But I thought that Sammy was excellent in this position, and I'm actually pretty interested in what they're going to do with Dom. So let's go ahead and kick it off because we could talk about this as well. So they opened SmackDown with a Bianca Belair recap and Becky Lynch recap thing. Becky comes down for a promo. We get a smattering of boos. I never know what's real or what's just being piped in there. But she says, what a party they threw for Bianca for, I don't know, I guess making it out of her hometown and making something of herself. But I made something of myself as well. I came back after having a kid, won the title in record time. Nobody threw me a party, but that's okay. You know, I like cake, but that's okay. She says, as the better man, I went to shake her hand and unprovoked. She had to assert her dominance, wouldn't let go of my hand. What choice did I have? Law of the jungle, hit or be hit. So what choice did I have? I didn't want to embarrass her in front of her friends, her family, her hometown, but I didn't have a choice. I am the better man. I wanted to give her time to recalibrate after her SummerSlam loss, but no, she wants her rematch at Extreme Rules. But remember this, and then Bianca interrupts. She comes down.
So she interrupts. She says, first of all, keep my mom and dad's name out of your mouth. Says, but yes, you did beat me at SummerSlam. You did embarrass me last week in my hometown, but I think that's not going to happen on Sunday. She said, but if you think that's going to happen on Sunday, she didn't know she was facing Becky at SummerSlam. And Becky's like, well, you call yourself the EST. Shouldn't you have been ready? Or is that just a catchphrase? And then Bianca says, I've been showing you why I've been the EST the strongest because I lifted you up in heels last week. I'm the fastest because I did everything you did, but a quarter of the time. And Becky says Bianca's only good because Becky showed the world how to be great. And Bianca says the match Sunday isn't going to end in 26 seconds. The winner is going to be the EST. So she extends her hand to shake, and Becky fakes like she's going to shake Bianca's hand instead, slaps Bianca, holds up the belt, starts talking trash, and then Bianca lays into her with a bunch of shots, and that leads to Becky going for a manhandle slam. Bianca escapes that, hits a KOD.
Yeah.
So it seems like Becky's going to retain on Sunday by go-home math.
It's going to be interesting to see how they book that, because clearly right now the idea is get Bianca over even more so. I don't know if she's going to have to. Maybe do you think the early thought might be WrestleMania even for Bianca to get that title back? Like, is she going to lose at Extreme Rules? She won't have at that point she's 0-2 to Becky. She won't have like a recourse besides either the Rumble or a number one contender thing.
So maybe, Bianca can go off into another feud and Becky with the same, and then eventually they'll come back. That's possible.
That could be.
I don't know.
After that, we had Shinsuke Nakamura, King Nakamura versus Cruz. We sort of talked about this before. Nakamura got the win with a cross-arm takedown pin after Aziz helped Cruz. So, like, he was loading up for a Kinshasa. Aziz pulled Cruz out. It was a bizarre bit of TV. Like, I don't know if Kevin Dunn had something stuck in his throat or something, but like Shinsuke was loading up for it, and instead of our customary 13 shots in 3 seconds, it just stayed on him while the crowd started booing, and he looked confused. And then it finally cuts to wide, and you have Aziz pulling Cruz out. But then Boogs shows up, hits Aziz with a really impressive overhead belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah.
And then Nakamura gets Cruz back in and gets him with that cross-arm takedown pin thing for the win there. Yeah.
After that, we had a Montez Ford interview. He's asked if you have any concern about Sunday, and he says, I have a lot of feelings about Sunday, but concern isn't one of them. Come Sunday, Street Profits get the tag titles back. He says Dawkins was called upon to go to a wedding. He says, but he'll be back at Extreme Rules. They've already beaten the Usos twice. Roman's been running them ragged. He's been treating them not like family, but like bloodline bitches.
So if they split up the profits, if Angelo Dawkins becomes Angelo Rawkins over at WWE, what would his gimmick be? Got to take him. He can't be the guy still showing up in the Street Profits gear. Only he takes the SP turns into an AD. You can't do that. That's like the most WWE thing they would do. Give him a new gimmick.
You remember the Curse of Greatness gimmick he had in NXT?
I do not, but I heard you mention that before.
That was well before Street Profits.
Yeah.
Well before.
I do not remember that at all.
Remember that one.
We saw tonight apparently in a dark match situation, Shane Thorne was rebranded
God.
in like a Crocodile Dundee gimmick. This is a real thing. He had the hat with the teeth in it.
It was so bad.
It was really bad.
So bad.
I mean, that's even worse than We Book Raw when we were doing goofy shit. Let's give Dawkins a We Book Raw. What would it be?
I mean, Angelo Hawkins is something.
So he's like all branded WWE Raw, like the various eras of Raw, like an all over print of all the different Raw logos.
So I don't know if you noticed Bianca's jacket she's wearing tonight had all her accomplishments on it.
Oh yeah,
like won the Rumble on her arm. It had like Bailey's name and Sasha's name.
oh, okay.
So Dawkins has something similar, but yes, all the various eras of Raw.
Yeah, he is Raw. Monday Night Rawkins. Yeah, that's good. Raw is Daw. That's good.
It's all good stuff.
It's really bad.
It is really bad. I don't know.
How about this? He comes to the ring.
Worry.
He comes to the ring and he's like, "Man, I've had such a hard time of it. You know, you guys remember what happened to me last week?" And they're like, "No, well, here's a refresher." And he throws to a recap of like a Raw from like 1995.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, I just love going down memory lane of my favorite show."
That could be. I guess that's the issue is Dawkins is so, we know him as Dawkins, as one half of the Street Profits, and he's immensely talented. He's got tons of personality, tons of charisma. He's a good wrestler.
Going in Daw.
That's good.
Yeah. He likes unprotected sex.
Oh gosh.
No, you thought I meant this show. No. Nobody knows this show. Nobody there. No, it would
Let's just move on. Let's move on. Okay. Let's just move on.
I love that I just roped you in on that one, man. I'm sorry.
So next we got Roman and Heyman backstage. They're in the locker room. Roman asks, hey, did you hear what Montez Ford said? And Heyman says, yeah, he called the Usos bloodline bitches. Roman says, I want a match with Ford tonight. And Heyman's like, well, you're defending the title in 48 hours. Roman just glares at him. Heyman stops, says, all right, that sounds like a fine main event for tonight. I'll go make the match.
Yeah. He was like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
I know.
Like, oh, yeah.
It's like, why are you still here?
Yeah. All right. So after that, we had Sonya and Pierce. They run into Heyman. They're like, dude, we're not going to tell you where Brock is being drafted. We're not telling you that. They're like, they don't even know. And so he's like, yeah, I don't care about that. You now have your main event, Roman versus Ford. And then he leaves. They're like, hey, that's a pretty good idea, Paul. Good idea. And then he leaves and he comes back and he's like, and then after the match, we're going to talk about the draft.
Yep. We had another really good Seth Rollins promo. He's doing some awesome work. He had a great suit.
Oh, man. It was red and with the pink. It was like a red tie, red suit with a pink shirt, I think it was.
Yeah, magenta it looked like.
Ooh, boy.
Very vivid. It was great. So, of course, he's addressing Edge. He says, I'm a patient man. I really am. But it's been 7 days since I laid out the ultimatum at Edge's feet, and I've heard nothing. But that's okay, because the sound of Edge's silence is deafening, and it reveals the truth. The truth is Edge is hurt. You're hurt bad. You're afraid, and you're ashamed to admit that I might be the reason you never get to compete in the WWE ring again. Well, that's mildly amusing. To me, Seth, it's not good enough. I want an answer, and I don't want to wait anymore. Edge, you're going to show up on SmackDown next week, and you're going to look me in the eye and tell the entire world the truth, that I am not Edge Light, that I am superior to you in every way, and that I am the one responsible for ending your career. And he says, but Edge, if you choose not to do this, I won't be made a liar of. I will find you, and I will beat those words out of you in front of your wife and your children. He says, you got a choice to make. I know you'll make the right choice. And sure enough, like 10 minutes later, Edge tweeted he's going to be on SmackDown next week.
Yeah. So it's clear that being called Edge Light really got under Seth Rollins' skin. What would somebody calling you blank light, what would get under your skin? Oh, Larson, he's just so-and-so light.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel like I take stuff that personal.
Pretty mellow about it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, I don't know what, I mean, people sometimes say I look like an out-of-shape John Cena,
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same thing. That wouldn't really bug me, though. Like, I've heard
No.
that a million times. Being on YouTube, you get sort of a thick skin. We've heard it all. I think we've had death threats in our comments like ages ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Hilton Light. If somebody called you Hilton Light,
No, it doesn't bother me.
doesn't really make sense.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So after that, we had Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega. Match is about to start. Carmella comes down to ringside, and she kind of sits at the top of the commentary table, joins the commentary team. So Liv's off to a fast start. There's some back and forth. Eventually, though, Liv reverses a corner clothesline, sends Zelina face first into the corner, second turnbuckle. So Mella comes over and starts talking crap to Liv.
Mm-hmm.
So Liv reaches out and tries to grab Carmella by her hair. This allows Zelina an opportunity to hit a kick on Liv, follow with a code red to get the win.
Yeah. I mean, either they're gonna keep this thing going and Liv Morgan's gonna lose at Extreme Rules, but I don't know. I think she's probably gonna win that match.
Yeah, I mean, she's already beat Carmella several times.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, if they keep this going, I don't see why, but that hasn't prevented WWE from keeping feuds going way too long before,
Yeah. Yeah. What was your pick for that match? Liv, right?
Yeah.
With like how many confidence points?
3, I want to say.
Okay, I think I was at 4.
You were at 4.
Okay,
yeah,
that
3.
makes sense, yeah.
3.
All right. Let's see here. Afterwards, we had they showed footage from a digital exclusive of Happy Corbin going on a spending spree. Where he was spending money on like suits.
Yeah,
I mean, mainly it was just suits, custom suits.
Yeah, it was all custom suits.
Then we had Happy talk with Corbin. He comes down, runs down Kevin Owens a bit. First he comes out and he's like, hey, this isn't going to be like most talk shows. It's not going to be like the Kevin Owens show where he makes people sad and breaks them. This is going to be all about happy people, successful people. And my first guest, and everybody's kind of geeky. It's like, oh, what are they going to do? It doesn't matter what it is. You just want somebody. And of course he says, it's me. And then kind of humorously, he does sit in the guest chair. So he sits down and he starts running down Kevin Owens. Of course, Kevin Owens comes down and then he gets sneak attacked by a hooded masked man that he takes off the hood and the mask. And it's Riddick Moss.
Back.
Last was seen on Raw probably like 5 years ago. I don't remember. I'll be honest with you. Like,
I don't think it's quite
really
5 years
threw
ago, but it was a
everything
while ago. Yeah, it was a while ago.
He was a 24/7 guy.
He was. It's they're insistent on giving Corbin henchmen.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
always
his
been a
constant
thing, yeah.
is he always has henchmen.
I don't mind that he has henchmen. Just like the what were the Macklin and the other guy and
Wesley
Blake. Like, it's always something weird with WWE. They had on like hoodies. They had like hooded sweatshirts and blazers over them. And you're just thinking the entire time I was just like, these guys have got to be sweating buckets under that. Mm-hmm. And it's distracting me from what's going on the TV. At least
they're only around a couple of weeks. You didn't miss much, Steve.
At least, you're right. At least seemingly with Riddick Moss, number one, he wasn't wearing a blazer over his hoodie.
But he did have a hoodie.
He did have a hoodie. But him and Baron were kind of like palling it up a little bit. They were both snickering. They were laughing.
They're laughing. They're happy.
If there's a relationship between them, I don't mind if it's a guy that's lower than Corbin on the food chain. What was bizarre is when like Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley were his henchmen. That was weird. Or like, wasn't like Braun his henchman at one point? He had like the most main event level henchman, and he was never a main event. It was weird.
It was weird. It was weird. It was weird. Well, I don't know. At least in more relative modern day wrestling, last 10 years, someone who's basically constantly always had henchmen in WWE at least.
Yeah, he loves his henchmen.
Yeah, he really does. So, anyways, they end up attacking Kevin Owens. And then it culminates in them hitting a double choke slam on Owens on top of the ring steps. After that, Montez is warming up backstage. Kayla comes up and she asks him, do you regret what you said earlier? And Montez says, no. Yeah. It's one of those times where my big mouth has landed me an opportunity. Says tonight he's going to do what he does best in the ring, and that's be Montez Ford.
Yeah. After that, they mentioned the Edge tweeting he's going to be at SmackDown thing. And then we had Natalya versus Nikki ASH. They reran some of the Raw stuff when the titles changed hands. In this case, Nikki got the win. Once again, Tamina got on the apron. Rhea Ripley took her off the apron. That parent distraction allowed Nikki to counter a roll-up with a roll-up and got the win over Natalya. After that, Shotzi and Nox come out on the tank, and they shoot a cannon at the tag champions, the tank cannon thing. And so, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm glad they're out there. I'm glad, hey, you know what? They won 5 different championship contender matches.
Well, they might have to win a 6 to get a title shot against the new champions.
Right. Yeah. That might be a kickoff show match at the
It
three
could
of
be.
them.
It could be.
Maybe.
It could be. So next we had Ray lecturing his son.
Oh my gosh.
And Dom tells Ray, "You're suffocating me. You want me to fly my own, but you never give me the chance. If you weren't ringside, I would have beaten Sammy."
Ray
And
was
Ray-
beside himself here.
He says, "I'm going to give you your space. You're not being yourself." And
You're
he gets
not
up and he leaves.
thinking straight. What
You're not
the
thinking
hell,
straight.
Ray?
So Sami Zayn walks in. He's like, "Oh, not looking to fight.
Ooh.
Not looking to fight." Says, "There's nothing to be ashamed about losing to a superstar of my caliber. But I will point out that every time we wrestled, you have gotten better." He says, "Your father, he's a good man, a legend. But let's just say this. I suggest you stop listening to him, start trusting your own instincts." And he just leaves. Very
Sound
diplomatic
advice.
on Sammy's part.
Sound
Yeah.
advice. Diplomatic, but they're going to make it like he's the bad guy here.
I know.
You know why? It's because Vince doesn't have like a normal, family life. Because he's all weird. So he's like, oh, yeah, this good advice. That's bad. It's what a bad guy would do. Anyways, after that, we had Naomi. She came down. She says, I came to SmackDown to compete, but Sonya refuses to put me in a match. I've been fined. I've been disrespected. I've been ignored, but I'm not playing this game anymore. I want a match. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. So which one of you ladies back there want to feel this glow? Sonya says, no, sorry, honey, not happening. No way, I make the matches, not you. Naomi says, fine, make a match between me and you. Sonya says, everyone knows I'd smack the glow off your face. Besides, I'm your boss. I'm a WWE official. And Naomi says, you're not a very good one because you're not making matches. And she starts getting the crowd to chant, make the match, make the match. And Sonya's like, cut the mic, cut the mic, cut the mic. So they finally do. She's like, get security out there. Security comes down. And Sonya says, you know what? You get your chance and chance after chance after chance. You drop the ball. Sonya just keeps on talking shit. And Naomi walks past her with security being taken away, basically. I thought this was really good. The crowd's booing the crap out of Sonya, and she just sort of does the Pete Dunne shrug. I thought, that was really, really good. Sonya's great. Naomi's terrific if she has something to work with. It's all good stuff.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. After that, quick shot of Roman and the Usos walking backstage, heading out to the arena for the main event. And the Usos are walking by. Otis and Chad Gable stop, have a little bit of a stare down. We get a quick Becky promo. She says that she gave Bianca a chance to back out, but Bianca kept pushing her. And Becky reminds us that she has been a champ every day. She's been active in WWE since WrestleMania 35. She says she's not scared of someone that she beat in 26 seconds. Extreme Rules. She's not going to just beat up Bianca. She's going to break her.
You would have figured at that point they'd be like, oh, it's been booked an Extreme Rules match or something.
It's probably something they'll announce on Twitter in the morning.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then we had our main event, Roman Reigns versus Montez Ford. Featured a table breaking seemingly under just the slightest amount of pressure, which was kind of weird. No.
Hats off to Montez for staying on his feet.
Just no-sold that completely. He was like, oh, that happened. Thought it was a really fun match. Like you said, commentary playing up Montez being out of his comfort zone, singles match, main event match. I thought this was really, really good stuff.
It was good. In the end, Montez goes for a frog splash. Roman gets the knees up, blocks on the guillotine, and Ford tries to get out of it, has to tap, though. So after the match is over, Paul Heyman gets in the ring, and he's telling Roman, that's not enough. You got to show Montez, and you got to show Finn Balor what Roman Reigns looks like when he takes it to the extreme. So he waves the Usos out. They come out. They start putting a chair in the ring. They set up a table ringside. Roman rock bottoms forward. The table set up ringside, and the lights come down. And they come back up. The red lights do. And you can kind of make out a presence behind Roman and the Usos on the ring post. It's Demon Balor.
Yeah, he's like Batman.
And so he hits a fun splash off the ring post onto them. And then he takes a kendo stick to the Usos. Roman tosses him in the ring, comes after him with a chair. Finn hits him with the sling blade, hits Roman with the chair a bunch of times, and then after Roman rolls out of the ring, hits him with a tope.
Yep.
Guaranteeing that he will not be the next Universal Champion at Extreme Rules.
He's just gonna be the. I mean, this is the kind of thing you think Demon Balor. It's like, oh, if he's gonna take a loss, have it be at the Rumble, Survivor Series, something like that.
You know what? I guess maybe they'll think, okay, the Demon's gonna take a loss, but look what it took to beat him. It's Extreme Rules match. He'll probably have to go through like 3 tables.
Yeah.
25 shots with the kendo stick.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You're gonna have to go through a lot.
Usos. Yeah.
Yeah. It's no DQ. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They'll just throw everything. Roman will have to throw everything at Demon Balor to get the win.
Let's go ahead and answer some questions. I got a thread up here on the Patreon. A couple questions here. First up, let's see here. That was a good question. David Matushek, after seeing Reigns versus Ford, what other members of prominent tag teams should take on the head of the table to freshen up the matchup quota? What other?
Robert Roode.
Robert Roode. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's a good answer. Good
actually answer. Get to see Robert Roode actually wrestle more than like a 5-minute match.
Good Lord. And like losing to Dom over and Boogs like in 2 minutes. Boy, he's misused. Robert, there's a new gimmick for you.
Remember
Robert
NXT?
Misused.
Remember NXT, Bob Roode?
I remember NXT, yeah.
Gosh, he was so good in NXT.
He was really good.
He was such a tactician in the ring. It was great.
It was really good. Here we go. Gregory Fiella, with the way WWE has been booking, he says Kevin Owens, but I kept on. You were supposed to call him Kevin Steen at this point. Has been booking Kevin Steen. How would you book him until the Royal Rumble to keep him from leaving to go to AEW? Well, we both know it's not possible. He's out the door.
I mean, you'd have to have him. I think you'd have him win the Rumble.
He'd beat Roman. That's the only thing you could possibly do, and I still think that'd be like a Benoit situation where desperation put the belt on him, and he still leaves. That dude still left.
Yeah, I know.
They had some poor Sid. Sid had the job. Oh, Maggie dropping a ton of gifted subs here. Thank you, Maggie. You're the best. So Sid was like, man, they shouldn't have little guys beat me, but I did it because Sid, if it wasn't softball season, he'd do business, and then he left anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's nothing you can do. I mean,
probably not.
You could try to put that. I think even beating Roman ain't gonna do the trick, man.
Yeah. White Brownie with the draft next week. Name one tag team, one man, and one woman who would benefit from a brand switch.
So let's take the profits out of it because we've talked about them endlessly.
Yeah.
A brand.
You know what? I kind of feel like the Viking Raiders could stand to switch brands. I kind of feel like they've done what they're going to do on Raw. It seemed like they're not anywhere close to the title picture. Send them over to SmackDown. Some new opponents for the Usos.
Viking Raiders versus the Usos. That's a good one.
Viking Raiders versus Gable and Otis would be interesting.
That'd be good. That's a good one. I like that. What else? A man and a woman?
Yeah.
We've talked about Drew and Bobby Lashley both going, but and Apollo going to Raw?
Yeah, I feel like Apollo going to Raw would be good for him.
Seth needs to stay on SmackDown to face Roman. That's
kind of feel like Edge is going to go to Raw. He's going to be on SmackDown next week. They'll probably have one more match, he and Seth, and then he'll go to Raw.
Yeah, because he's gone through that entire main event scene.
Yeah.
And over on Raw now, you got Big E.
You can get to a program with AJ or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. AJ. That's good. It could be the same sort of, dream match thing. That's good. Let's see
Someone-
here.
I was trying to think of someone for the women's division that could
Oh yeah.
benefit from switching brands.
Clearly, well, no. Let's see. I don't know. I'm thinking like, I don't know. The horsewomen all kind of should stay where they're at. I mean, would Sasha benefit from being on the same brand
I'd
as
suggest
Charlotte?
Asuka, because I think an Asuka Becky feud would be good.
Oh, they need to revisit that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Moses opposes. Since the last two women's tag team champions have been thrown together, which new thrown together tag team should take the belts off Super Brutality?
So I have to probably be, well, let's assume it's not Shotzi and Tegan Knox.
Well, what about this? How about by the end of Sonya Deville versus Naomi, they find a new respect for each other.
Oh gosh.
And Sonya's like, hey, you brought me off the bench back into the game. I have my confidence now. I can wrestle again. So
All right.
you got Sonya Deville and Naomi as a tag team.
King CTM to help sell the Demon in defeat. I think it'd be cool if you either no-sold the spear or kicked out at one. What do you think? What's a better looking loss for the Demon? Tapping out. Well, he's not gonna tap out. Passing out or getting pinned. Like if Roman sets up like 5 tables in a corner, one after the other, and spears the Demon through there and pins him after that.
It's got to be a pin. It's got to be a pin. Passing out is like the act of a defiant man. You know, it's like, oh, you could do that. At least with a pin, it's like, oh, well, even like you could probably knock out Freddy Krueger for 3 seconds. He'll get up afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But
that'd be the thing if the Demon gets pinned and then like Roman turns back around, he's back up or something like that.
Passing out is like a plucky underdog thing. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you can't break his spirit. That's not the Demon.
No. Now that we said that, they're probably going to have him tap out.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll do the worst WWE thing. Let's see here. This is a good question. Marvin McGee. If Demon Balor loses to Roman, does that mean WWE's done with supernatural gimmicks?
No. I mean, they still have Alexa. She's got a supernatural gimmick.
Nobody. Yeah, I know, but she was talking so much like not like a supernatural gimmick in her promo with Charlotte
Yeah.
that I wonder if they're kind of getting away from that.
They could.
Nobody in 2.0 supernatural either. And if that's like where the gimmicks all start now, except for Joe Gacy, all of his stuff disappeared on the .com, huh? He's got teleportation powers. Anyways, we got a Rampage review to do. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. The Rampage review will be up around the same time as this. Thanks for watching. Yeah, at some point. Hopefully, you'll join us on Sunday for Extreme Rules WWE pay-per-view. You know it's going to be great. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.